please, if you're watching this, please subscribe. Welcome to the wargaming news around the world. Well, this week I didn't really much research into the news around the world. Please forgive me. But let me just take this opportunity to thank the people who do, I guess, create my job the most. The STUKAJOEs, the Centurions review. Look, I'm just naming a few that are coming out of my head right now, but you know who you are, and forgive me if I've not forgotten you but not mentioned you. I really appreciate all of that, and I'm having a great time doing this. I mean, I keep saying it, but it's just, it freaks me out that every time I do the work, I'm all giddy stupid, and what happens is that I get distracted because I'm ADD. So when I'm giddy stupid, I'm happy, right? So I procrastinate. That's the way it is. And the thing is, once you know yourself, you start working with yourself, you know, you start talking to yourself. So when you see people in the streets and they're talking to themselves, no, these are sane people. Like extremely sane, because they're working within themselves. So if you don't talk to yourself, start. Anyways, my contributors, like Centurion Review, Dave, awesome. You know how much I've learned from Dave, from the little things, the little games he buys? Well, I've bought games because of Dave. Companies should know this, that, you know, these people are influential. That's influential. This talks. This walks. But anyways, so Centurion's Review, the punk rocker of War Board Game Institution. I don't know where you got that, Dave. I don't know where you got that, but you know what? Let it stick. It's perfect. Also, our new guy, Victor Cintron. Victor, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And his daughter, Tabletop Games. Oh my God, I forget the channel. But thanks, Vic. It's awesome. I love that. Man, if this can ever become like the 1/10 of the Dice Tower type war game news, where people come here, get their news, and you know, I send them off. Cut the umbilical cord, that is. But anyways, Victor, STUKAJOE, when he does his things, STUKAJOE has been an awesome, insane help to me, and still is. There's Wojennick TV, Michel Sorbet. Love his style, love his seriousness, and I love his humor and his seriousness. You know, guy's a funny guy. He's well, how do you say it? He takes care of himself. He's not hysterical. I'm not hysterical. And who else? I've got Victor. I've got, oh yeah, Robert Carroll. What a nice guy. Let me tell you something. He's gonna have his clip on, and he wanted music, like at certain points, you know, because I do that for people. And nobody should be. Just please, if you have something to show on No Enemies Here, let me know, and let's see if we can spruce it up. And if we can spruce it up, well, yay! So anyways, Robert asked me to do certain things, put certain pieces of music to it, enhance the video, and I'm just gonna do a little sidebar here saying that music does enhance everything. So that's it. Who did I forget? Ricardo. The guy's awesome. I was hoping to have Fred, but Fred just moved from, I think, Amsterdam to London. You know, these are just names in my head. I've never been to Amsterdam or London. Anyways, Fred's getting settled in. We're supposed to be doing something. I hope we do. But, so anyways, guys, thank you, and for people who haven't skipped over this. And, again, thanks. This is a lot of fun. You guys make it fun, and I'm not being facetious, and I'm not just being glib. Thanks. And the man who calls himself the sexiest Grantalicious, and congratulations, Grant. I'm very happy for you. So the Grantalicious, that is Worthington Publishing, currently on Kickstarter, Malta besieged 1940-1942. This is a deluxe edition, ends April 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Check it out on Worthington Publishing's Kickstarter page. And from Elwin Klapper, I'm assuming he's from Germany, it's a bulge game, and it's called Clash of the Ardennes. This is another Kickstarter, and I mean, you can obviously go check it out on their Kickstarter page. Remember, just listen to me, you don't need the link, for God's sakes. Anyways, it's a 2-player game, Battle of the Bulge, and obviously there's got to be some stretch goals on the Kickstarter. Check it out. DDG Warfighter Battle Pack Wave number 3, another Kickstarter from Dan Verson Games. Dan Verson, Google that guy. That guy's interesting. For some reason, Dan Verson has got this Ray Kurzweil thing happening for me. But anyways, so these are the Warfighter Battle Packs, the expansions, Wave 3. Alright, Kickstarter, and check it out. Stretch goals, sure, this ends April 14th. Okay, so that's a Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Another Kickstarter, and this one looks interesting, and it's called, believe it or not, 1815 Scum of the Earth. The Battle of Waterloo card game from All or Nothing Productions. Well, now, yes, here's my opinion. Scum of the Earth. Bloody hell. What a beautiful cover. A very historical thing. Why call it Scum of the Earth? I don't know. But anyways, Scum of the Earth is, I think it's Napoleon's last battle, Waterloo, obviously. And it's a Kickstarter. And there's lots of things, and it will end April 16th, 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Ladies and gentlemen, Scum of the Earth. Love saying it. Tiny Battle Publishing and A Most Fearful Sacrifice. The 3 Days of Gettysburg. This is the entire Battle of Gettysburg played out on a 15 square foot map. And it says here, or else if you like to. This is a game designed by the Dream Team designer, Herman Lutman. I don't know who developed the game. I'm assuming it's Fred Manzo, if anybody developed. If not, it's Herman himself. And what you get with this game is a full-color rulebook, full-color scenario book, game maps, 15 square feet of them, and the map is designed by Rick Barber. You know, any Rick Barber map, game, I buy. Why? Rick Barber. That's all. You get 352 huge counters, 1/5/8 inch of an inch, counter sheet, that's 176 counters, 90 cards, 2 play rates, 2 large command displays, 6 dice, and all the stretch goals. If I didn't mention it, it is a Kickstarter, and it looks totally awesome. High-flying dice games, and Walking a Blight Path, the Battle of Fallen Timbers, August 20th, 1794. Now, high-flying dice Games is owned and operated by a nice guy called Paul Rohrbaugh. And I have quite a few games from High Flying Dice Games, and they're simple games. Yeah, you'll play them once, twice, maybe you'll like a game, you'll play it 10 times. But I'll tell you something. All his games are relatively simple, and you learn what the Battle of Fallen Timbers was. You know it by playing a 15-minute game. Good job, Paul. High Flying Dice Games. October 7th, 1571. This is a game designed by Enrico Acerbi and HEXES. Edizione Lepanto. Enrico Acerbi, HEXES Edizione. STUKAJOE has Wargaming Brain Farts and Ruminations number 1 and 2, and also does a video of a Spanish game called Navios de Linea, Ship of the Line, Volume 2. Seek Out and Play has an amazing video, great lighting. This guy must work for a lighting company. And he's doing a overview of The Creature that ate Sheboygan, an old SPI game that I am personally looking for. Rough Swordsman Wargamer has 3 videos, the first one being Space Infantry Federation from Lock and Load Publishing, and Not a Wargame Wednesday. Open the box, he's checking something out, it's not a Wargame Wednesday, plus another video called Open the Box, Calandale from STRATEGEMATA, an unboxing. And the Player's Aid, those monsters are unboxing 1918-1919 Storm in the West from GMT. Tim Korchnoi of Bare Bones Wargaming is taking a look at Compass Games. Lamps are going out. Wayne Hansen has 3 videos out, the first one being Recon, which is his unboxing of the Deadly Woods, the Battle of the Bulge from Revolution Games. Also, Recon 20th Air Force. This is a solitaire game, and he gets his hands dirty with Village Green.
STUKAJOE reporting for duty. This week I will be receiving New York 1776 and the French and Indian War from Worthington Games, and I am looking forward to playing those two. So this week for sure, those two will be opened up and one of them will get played. This past week I went to a local game store. I found some used war games and I picked up 3 of them, and I will most likely be opening one of these and probably learning the rules as well. One of them is Gettysburg. I am a Revolutionary War fan, a Civil War fan, and nothing past that at the moment. So this one is of interest. Another one, War at Sea, not of that time period, but of interest to me since I'm in the Navy and I've never been inside a ship. I'm a Greenside Corpsman. And the last one I picked up is The House Divided. Civil War game. It says here, easy to read and easy to learn. We'll see how true that is for me. Another one of interest. And those are the games I will be looking at this week and hopefully playing in the next few days. Take care.
ID Jester has mail from GMT and his Open the Box new game inside. Check it out. The philosopher AJ Toyin B. Jason Cruz of Hexes and Soldiers gives us a video with an introduction to Confusion Reigns. And Kevin of the Big Board in his segment Voices You Need to Hear number 5, this time is Hex to Hex. Tony of Tony's Board Life plays a game published by HOLLANDSPIELE called Charlemagne, Master of Europe, or Charlemagne. We're gonna tell you. The Grognard of 2020, Jim Ozarski, plays, and I'm gonna massacre this name, Alao, Part 2 for Volley and Bayonet. And Stephen Dolges continues with a Victory Games game called Korea, Fire and Ice, turns 7, 8, and 9. The man famously known as Calandale, Enrico Viglino, continues the mission. And it says again, like the mission again 2, the mission again 1, the mission failed start 3, failed start 2. Enrico Viglino. Combat Board Games checks out Silo 14. This is an old, I think it's a GDW game or Games Workshop. I don't know even if that's the same, but I was actually looking at this game a couple of days ago, and as Combat says, that's a god-awful cover. God-awful. And for all our Italian listeners, Riccardo Mazzini is live with Paolo Carraro and Luca Velluntini. Jan Heinemann Let's Play History has 10 videos out this week. Actually, I should say 9, where he plays Crusader Kings 3, Fields of Glory Empires, and Fields of Glory 2. And Mo of Mo's Game Table checks out A Most Fearful Sacrifice. This is a game by Flying Pig Games, and I think earlier on I said Tiny Battle Publishing, but I'm wrong. These are the 3 Days of Gettysburg. Herman Lockman. Dad vs. Son continues his massive playthrough of Combat Commander. Calandale Causeway 1, 2, and 3. And Gimpy of the Gimpy Gamer checks out Predrag Lazovich's game Age of Dogfights, and also continues his playthrough of Sean Drulinger's game Point Blank.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurions Review, the punk rock band of war game review institutions. First game we reviewed this week is Goblin from Dwarfstar Games. It's an old micro game. Actually, Dwarfstar is owned by Heritage, who used to make a big miniatures line. But anyhow, the game, it's so-so, but watch the review, see what you think of it. And then on YouTube, did a first look at Opaque War from Modern War Magazine number 34. It's a game about the Russian-Ukrainian conflict in 2014. And the last thing we did is War Game Chat number 5. And this one we talked about micro games, the ones we liked and so forth. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.
Summer of 1863, early on July 1st, in the surroundings of the small town of Gettysburg, the largest battle fought in the American Civil War begins to unfold. A battle that will determine the fate of the nation. A Most Fearful Sacrifice is an epic two-player war game allowing players to depict the fighting that occurred during all 3 days of this decisive clash. The Black Swan ACW operating system is specifically designed to handle the larger scale battle and provide a challenging, constantly developing battle situation. A Most Fearful Sacrifice, The 3 Days of Gettysburg, a game designed by Herman Luttman, published by Mark H. Walker. A Flying Pig game.
Hello everyone, this is Michel Leviathan Sorbet from the Polish YouTube channel Wojennick TV. As usually, here is my weekly roundup of the content that I published on my channel during the last week. As a week earlier, I published 2 additional videos which were focused on BIOS Genesis. Those were the 3rd and the 4th part of my playthrough. So I continued to present this game, I continued to share the playthrough which I recorded a few months ago, but I decided to publish them only now. BIOS Genesis, an extremely interesting game by Phil Eklund, which is focused on the origins of life on our planet. On Tuesday, I published the video in English, and this time I returned to the universe of Anno Domini 1666. Anno Domini is a very ambitious project by Wargamer Games Studio, a Polish company. The authors of this game are Konrad Sosiński and Rafał Szwelicki. And Anno Domini 1666 is a tactical skirmish game in which we will be using miniatures presenting heroes from books of Alexandre Dumas and Henryk Sienkiewicz. So 2 very important writers, the first one French, the second one Polish. And this game allows us to recreate skirmishes in which heroes of those books encounter, and this is a very interesting approach. Additionally, the game is set in 1666 in Vienna, so we have also some other very interesting figures appearing in the game. I have already presented this title on my channel, both during an unboxing and during a review. I have also published videos which are meant to show you how to start playing the game, how to interpret skills which are part of the core game. And during this Tuesday's video, I presented all the miniatures coming from the core game and from all the expansions that I have. So if you're interested in taking a closer look at how those miniatures look, this is the video you should be looking for. On Friday, the review, and this was the review in Polish, the review of Down in Flames Locked On by Dan Versen Games. Down in Flames Locked On is a card game, a game which enables us to recreate aerial dogfights fought from the end of World War II up to the end of the 20th century. A game very fast to play, very dynamic, a game in which you'll get tons of different machines, tons of different aircraft with different rockets, with different missiles, with different special capacities, which make this game very interesting and which increases the replay value of this title. A game in which we will be using a deck of cards, a common deck of cards, and you will try to maneuver your machine, you will try to also use the cards that you have in your hand in order to shut down your enemy. This will be your major objective. A very interesting tactical game, so I presented the Polish review of this title. In some time I will also publish the English one. When I do, I will give you the information during one of my roundups. That's it from me for this week. I wish you a terrific weekend and see you next time.
Charles Cab takes a look at Worthington Publishing's Cowboys 2. And again, for our Italian listeners, Mauro Faina talks about the American Civil War. And Fred Serval of Homoludens has a panel and they are interviewing live a new GMT game on the P500 called Vijayanagara. I nailed it. Counterproductive Games is a lucky man. One of his viewers gave him Star Trek 3, Starship Combat role-playing game. BLASTPOP takes a look at Jerry White's Atlantic Chase, published by GIMPY. And Little Wars TV are playing and recounting Tombstone War Game. Tim of Hairbrained Games gives us his top 2-player games that are available. John Krantz and Compass Games was live with special guest Andrew Rowland, and where they discuss his game NAPOLEONS Imperium 1798-1815.
Hello all, today Kilroy goes off the shelf on the unmonster. A lot of talk lately about monster games and what makes up a monster game, but I thought I'd go in the other direction. The unmonster. Cue dramatic music. Yes, the unmonster. What in the world am I talking about? Well, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm looking at games that have small maps or one map, low counter density, relatively simple rules, and very short playing time. These are reminiscent of the micro games from Metagaming and Task Force in the 70s and mid-80s, but these tend sometimes even have even less counters and lower complexity. These are truly the opposite of a monster game. The unmonster. Some examples off my shelf are the pocket games or postcard games from Against the Odd magazines that they give them free with their games or their magazine games, and they have the rules on the back. And can anybody read that? You cut out the counters, or they can get the counters. Sometimes they give you out the real counters to the game, but they're very small games that cover a lot of different topics and, you know, very, very, very short playing time. Next on my list are folio games. Now, these folio games cover all kinds of topics, you know, and very short to play. These are from Decision Games. They're mainly the mini game series are the smaller ones, and you know sometimes they even have cards in them, but they have a map, low counter density cards, and usually not very complex rules, and they cover all kinds of variety of topics. But there are other games in my collection that I find even more satisfying and fit the role of an unmonster, and one of them here is Forgotten Battles. This came out of the World at War magazine. This deals with forgotten Pacific battles during World War II. And as you can see here, each of the battles has one map. This is the largest, but you got some really small battles over here on these islands, and that's the counters. This is the counters for parry. That's your entire counter for that scenario. The rules, again, are relatively simple. They're the fire and movement rules, which Decision Games use in several of their folio games, and are a great introduction into war games. And that's another feature about unmonster games. They tend to be a really good introduction into the hobby. If you're getting someone who's a non-war gamer who is interested in history and you can find a specific topic, because there's several of them, you can introduce them into one of these, unmonster type games and get them into the hobby. Another example of that is Bloody Mohawk and Savage Wilderness in my collection. Now this deals with the French and Indian War. The rules here are not complex at all. They're 4 pages, just a little over 4 pages, and not complex at all. I mean, these are really easy rules to get into. And what you get in Bloody Mohawk, and then you get more of the same in Savage Wilderness, but you get several scenarios. The maps are double-sided. They're single maps. As you can see, very small, low counters. Sometimes there's only like 5 or 6 counters that might be on the board. And so you can play these relatively quickly, short period of time, and get a feel for what's going on in that period or with that topic. My last example from my collection, which I have others, but this is one I've more recent and really like, is Brief Border Wars, which kind of harkens back to the old Quad series. And these are, one mappers, have card-driven type mechanics in it, but very easy to get into, low counter density, and don't take a whole lot of time to play. So, these are good for, again, introduction. They're good if you just don't have a lot of time and you just want to push some counters around on the board and see what that error or that conflict or that period felt like in some brief, small, abbreviated fashion. However, these are an appetizer. These are not the big meal. And for a lot of war gamers, probably are not satisfying enough. Probably, not worth your time or effort, because, you want something deeper, you want more chrome, you want to get into the topic a little bit deeper, and you don't feel like these are worth your effort. I, on the other hand, I like the heavier games, but I like these too sometimes. Sometimes I don't have the time, and sometimes these are just great to get into and push some counters around.
Hey, another week, another show. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like this, and if you're so inclined, support this show. Support this show through Patreon. Anyways, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next weekend. Ciao.
Debriefing. Dismissed. Come in and take a seat, please. For most of you, your last mission was your first one, and a rough one it was. The crew shot down 4 enemy aircraft, which is pretty good. Now this is your next mission. Today's target is the shipyard at Rotterdam in Holland. You will be flying in the middle position, but you will be part of the low squadron. That means you will bear the brunt of the German attacks. Now let me show you where this target is located. It is here in Zone 4. German resistance will be significant once you arrive off the Dutch coast. You will have fighter cover, but it will be variable. That means good or bad. Don't depend on it. Most of your flight will be overseas, so stay in formation, follow your captain's instructions, and good luck. At 800 hours, Diamond Lucy takes off, headed for Holland as part of the low squadron. The squadron that is most likely to encounter enemy fighters during the mission. For most of the crew members, the last mission was their first, and this one can't be any worse. So they believed. Diamond Lucy enters quickly Zone 2. Fighter cover is fair. No German fighters are encountered in Zone 2, so our bomber continues into Zone 3, where fighter cover is good. The bomber is 1 zone away from the target zone, and the Germans send 1 fighter wave after the bomber formation. The enemy bandits make contact, but the fighters are driven away by the neighboring B-17s in our formation. Diamond Lucy enters Zone 4, the target zone, where the weather is good. Fighter cover is poor, and the Luftwaffe sends 3 fighter waves after the bomber formation. The first fighter wave fails to make contact, but because of bomber casualties, our bomber now becomes the tail bomber. That means that more German attacks will be coming from our 6 o'clock position. The second wave approaches and makes contact. 4 Me-109s headed our way, and an additional Me-109 from 6 o'clock. Our crew prepares for combat, knowing that fighter cover is poor. The Germans attack from 9, 12 o'clock, and 6 o'clock high. Poor fighter cover at least manages to drive the 9 o'clock bandit away. Our crew members prepare to give the Germans a warm welcome. Aiming at the 12 o'clock level bandit, the first to fire is the bombardier, Joel Toppin. But he misses. The engineer Snowman fires at the high bandit, but he also misses. Next, the ball gunner, Alex Berry, fires away at the low bandit, and he too misses. Radio operator Derek Case fires at the 6 o'clock bandit and hits. The damaged bandit will break off after his attack. Tail gunner Cab tries to finish him off, but he misses. The bandit fires before leaving the action, and he too misses, and he's gone. Leading this fighter wave is one of Germany's aces, Major Uwe Eickert of the Luftwaffe Fighter Academy. But first, the High Bandit approaches and fires. He misses and leaves the action. Next, the Level 109 moves in for the attack. But he also misses and leaves. Of the group, only Major Eichert remains. He moves in for the kill and hits. The bomb controls become inoperable, and now the bombs must be dropped manually, something that will have a negative impact during the bomb run. Bullets also hit the bomb bay, but the damage is superficial. Major Eichert flies across and returns for another pass at our bomber, this time from 3 o'clock low. Poor fighter cover has no effect at all, and our crew prepares for another attack. Waist gunner Judd Vance spray fires, but he misses. Next, ball gunner Barry fires away, but he misses. The top turret gunner Snowman fires, and he hits, damaging the Major's plane, who's breaking off, but first he attacks and hits our bomber in the tail section. The rudder is hit, but remains operational, and Herr Major leaves for good. The crew has no time to rest. There is one wave left. 3 Focke-Wulf 190s and a 109 headed our way. An all-out attack from 6 o'clock, 10:30, 12, and 1:30. Poor fighter cover fails in diverting a single bandit away. Our crew prepares for yet another all-out attack. Derek Case and Charles Cat fire at the 6 o'clock bandit, but both miss. Joel Toppin and Snowman fire at the 12 o'clock Focke-Wulf. Snowman hits, and the bandit with damage will break off not before attacking our bomber. 10:30 Focke-Wulf is piloted by a German ace, Oberleutnant Kalasmar, the lonesome gamer. Gunners Schmidtgens and Hayakawa have him in his sights and fire away, but they both missed. Waist gunner Judd Vance fires at the 130 bandit. He hits. Explodes and crashes into the sea. It's Gunner Vance's first kill. No time to celebrate because the 6 o'clock bandit moves in for the kill. Multiple hits in the waist area. Both waist gunners are hit. Gunner Schmidtgens has 2 light wounds. Gunner Vance is not so lucky. His wound is serious. The damage to the starboard wing is only superficial. The 109 flies across and will come back for another round. But first, the 12 o'clock bandit fires. He misses and leaves the action. Oberleutnant Kalasmar, trying to find a weak spot in the defenses, approaches the bomber and fires away. Luckily for our crew, he misses, and he leaves for good. The 109 comes back for another pass, this time from 130. Poor fighter cover has no effect at all, and our crew prepares once again to repel the attacker. However, the only crew member that has an angle is Lieutenant Hayakawa. She misses. The bandit moves in for the attack. He also misses. He flies across. Meanwhile, the tail gunner awaits him and hits and blows the bandit out of the sky. It's Tail Gunner Charles Cab's first kill. Diamond Lucy approaches the target. Flak is light. Anti-aircraft fire is of no consequence to our bomber's bomb run. Because the bombing control is damaged and the bombs must be operated manually, our bomber runs off target. Bombardier releases the bombs, but none hit the target. Our bomber turns around to head back home. Fighter cover is now fair. The Germans send one wave after the bomber formation. The wave makes contact. Two Focke-Wulf 190s and a Messerschmitt 109 headed our way, attacking from 10:30, 3, and 6 o'clock. Fair fighter cover manages to drive two of the bandits away, leaving the 10:30 bandit to face our crew. Our crew, exhausted, with casualties and some damage, have to face another round of combat. Hayakawa, Snowman, and the wounded gunner Schmidtgens fire away. But they all miss. The Focke-Wulf moves in for the kill and hits the nose section. The damage is superficial. Tail Gunner Cab fires, but fails to hit the bandit. The confident German pilot comes back for another pass at our bomber, and he returns from the same angle, 10:30, but this time our fighter cover pulls him away. Our bomber continues its way home and enters Zone 3, where fighter cover is also fair. The Germans send no fighters after the bomber formation. The Diamond Lucy enters Zone 2, where fighter cover is poor. The Germans send one wave of fighters after the B-17 formation. A Focke-Wulf, an Me-110, and a 109 headed our way, attacking from 10:30, a vertical climbing bandit, and 6 o'clock. Fair fighter cover only manages to pull one of the bandits away. Our crew, exhausted after facing wave after wave of German fighters, has no choice but to meet the enemy. The ball gunner, Alex Berry, fires at the climbing 110. He hits. The fighter will have to break out after its attack. Next, Sergeants Snowman, Case, and Cab fire at the 6 o'clock bandit. Snowman and Cab both hit the bandit. The bandit explodes and crashes into the sea. A shared kill for Snowman and tail gunner Charles Cab. Finally, the braking and climbing 110 fires away. But he misses and leaves the action. Diamond Lucy finally enters the security of Zone 1. The weather is good and landing is successful. In her second mission, and with the hardships of being the tail bomber, Diamond Lucy failed to drop her bombs on target. Her crew members destroyed 3 German aircraft. However, 2 crew members were wounded. Sergeant Schmidtgens recovered from both light wounds and will be ready to fly again. Judd Vance, although he recovered from his wounds, will not be able to fly again. Because the bomb run was again off target, the mission was a draw. The second draw in a row for Diamond Lucy in B-17, Queen of the Skies.
Hey people, welcome to the Collector's Corner. I always have a new show or a new segment. That's the way I keep things interesting. I recently got into Ace of Aces. This is a handy rotary series game, and it was made by a company, if I'm not mistaken, called Nova Game Design. And I put them in these plastic Ziploc bags. I learned that from Mauro Faina because he's got like 3,000 games and he rents out a like a garage thing or you know, where you pay, I don't know, 20 bucks a month and you keep your games in. And he keeps them all in plastic envelopes, which is a great thing because at the price that I paid this, I think I paid, my God, close to like 60-70 bucks for this, but it's in decent condition. This, I think, is the first of the Ace of Aces. And what you get with this is two books like this. All right, a German and an ally, and you get a small, tiny rule book. The game is very easy. You start on page, I think it's 270. And it's almost self-explanatory once you learn how to play this game. A lot of fun, very easy, doesn't take that much time, great beer and pretzel game. So basically this is a, I don't know, it's almost like a choose your own adventure, but it's choose your own path. So basically you choose, let's say, one picture, this picture over here, and you have a graph underneath here, and it tells you the choices you have: slow, no power dive, cruising, and fast, no climb. You see everything. Well, I mean, if you can see it here. Let's see here. Sorry, I gotta get used to this camera angle and stuff. So you choose where you want to go in conjunction to the picture that you're looking at. That's your enemy in front. You're sitting in the cockpit. So he's going, let's say, right of you. In this picture here, he's going right of you. So what do you want to do? You want to pull a right? You want to do a barrel roll? Whatever. And you have tons of pictures of what you can do. And when you choose your page to tell your opponent where to go, he's gonna see where you've been, type thing, and he chooses his move. And sometimes what happens, and I turn to the right page, is a move you choose has machine guns, like this one, like this one over here. So that means you just took a shot at your opponent. So you roll a die, and I think it's six hits they're allowed, and then they're going down. Lots of fun. Being a collector, you got the FOMO disease, fear of missing out. Plus, I ask everybody, man, you got games to sell, this and this and that. Hopefully I have the budget and I get it off them. I try to deal them because some of these games are expensive, and sometimes you get 10-15 bucks off, which pays for shipping, or helps to pay for shipping if it comes from the States, because it's $1 million bucks. But anyways, so this is Ace of Aces, World War I Air Combat. Handy rotary series, as I showed you here. Here is the side of the box. Here is the back of the box. Okay, and it's a sleeve. Love it, love it. You know, I wouldn't mind doing a playthrough of something like this, but I need an opponent. But anyways, so, and like I said, being a collectioner, you become some sort of a insane completionist. So I have to get this one again. Ziploc bags. Keep your game in Ziploc bags. I live in a place where it floods, so yeah. Again, this one I think I paid 50 bucks for this. Not in the best shape, you know. So this is another Powerhouse series. I think this is number 2. This adds maybe a few more rules, some complexity, some different moves. Same thing here. You get 2 books. As I said, it's a sleeve. You get 2 books. Germans and the Allies. Different moves. And let's see here. Pictures are the same, because as we get in the series, older series, the pictures change. And I'll show you. So yeah, good condition books, $50. Papir. Again, rules, very simple. How many pages? This is stuck. Be careful. As a collector, you want to fix stuff too also, but not fix it so you ruin the original packaging and blah 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 and all that stuff. So this basically is like a 10-page rule book, not even. All right. So we got that. I don't know how many series. I think there's 5 series. Balloon Busters, which I got, and I should have waited to do this video. But anyways, I'll continue with what I get later on. I ordered from Noble Knight. You know, you can bargain at Noble Knight, eh? And they got a hell of a selection of older games. And last but not least for me, Wing Leader. They say this is not the greatest expansion, because the first game by Richard Berg, it was not criticized, it was critiqued by Richard Berg, and he just loved it. Berg, not Borg, Richard Berg. Grognard. You know, a Grognard. A Grognard's a Grognard, but a grumpy Grognard's a Gawk. Grumpy old Grognard. GOC, a Gawk. A lot of them. But it Gawks. So, look, I think I paid 50 beans for that. Box is indented in here. It's okay, I'm gonna place it this way so it weighs down the box and kind of flattens it out a bit. All right. So this is Wing Leader World War II Air Combat Game for 2 players ages 10 and up. All right. So let's see what I got here. See what I mean by the box is messed up. I don't know if you can see it, but you can surely see it here. Sabomb. And I like that. Rules different, so they changed their style. Okay, so the rules are different. Different font. Still, you need a microscope to read these rules. Trust me, after 40 you need a microscope. Sometimes you might need a microscope. Okay, so again, 10, 12 page rules, and here they added like plane sheets, or what planes you're gonna, because here you have a choice to choose what planes you want. So Tempest 5, look at that, ME-109, you can even choose that. And here are you keep stats of your hits and or your damages. Well, actually, this is just a table of a CRT table. That's what I'm saying, as I'm reading as I'm going along here. And oh, there's 2. Look at that. So this is the FW190. What do they call this? Is that the Fritz? No, it's a Fuck-a-Wolf. It's not a Fritz. Anyways, so you got a Tony, a Japan, a Zeke, Zero, Corsair, Mustang. That's what's different. So they added a level of, not complexity, but a level of play. And different. Hey, shiny, very good condition, very good condition. And as you see, this is World War II, man. So the pictures have changed. This is your Allied. So it's not World War I anymore. So you're in a, whatever, Corsair or a P-57, a P-51. And here's the Axis. Probably in a Fritz or something. Right? I can play this with Uva. Italian against German. That doesn't happen. We were friends. Anyways, so that's that. Let me show you the back of the box if I haven't already. So I think I paid this about 50 beans, plus shipping. And this is great. Like I was said, I emailed Roger B. McGowan, nice guy. And I said, Roger, why don't we start a virtual war game museum somehow? You know, you take pictures of everything and make it legit. I know BGG has files and all that, but if we can, I don't know, it's another idea that I had that I should just shut up and go to sleep. Maybe it'll go away. Having a virtual museum where you look at the whole game. This is whatever, wing leader, and this is what you get in the game, and you know, page by page, but this would be a hell of a undertaking to do page by page in a virtual museum, but we don't have to do page by page. Anyways, that's what I'm trying to say. So, guys, this was the collector's corner, and have a good week.